what the incentive would be to make these people disappear.
It's espionage. Some hostile foreign country is trying to gather information that's useful, that will put them in a better footing, whether economically or, in this case, missile propulsion and space exploration.
Something strange is going on, and people are starting to notice a pattern. In the past few years, many scientists who worked on secret government projects have gone missing or died in unclear ways. At first, each case looked like it had nothing to do with the others, but now people are beginning to ask if there is a link between them. These scientists worked in areas like space research and nuclear science, which are very sensitive and closely guarded. As more information slowly comes out, the mystery is getting deeper. What connects these missing scientists, and why is there no clear answer yet? Join us in this video as we reveal the details. The exposed pattern linked to the missing scientists. For years now, many people have started asking difficult questions about a strange and unsettling pattern involving scientists, researchers, and military-linked experts in the United States. These were not ordinary workers in random jobs. Many of them were said to be connected to highly sensitive areas such as nuclear science, aerospace engineering, NASA projects, military defense systems, and even unexplained aerial research. Because of the importance of their work, every disappearance, unexplained death, or sudden tragedy involving them naturally raised concern. But when more names began appearing over time, concern slowly started turning into suspicion. People began noticing what looked like a disturbing pattern. Some scientists reportedly vanished without clear explanations. Others were found dead under circumstances that some considered unusual. In several cases, there were claims that details surrounding these deaths were unclear, limited, or simply did not answer all the questions people had. Families, media personalities, political commentators, and internet researchers all started looking closer. The deeper some looked, the more they believed there could be more to these stories than what was publicly understood. This growing fear was not just about death itself. Scientists die like anyone else, of course, but when the individuals involved are connected to national defense, classified technologies, advanced aerospace systems, or nuclear programs, people naturally wonder whether their knowledge made them vulnerable. Some feared foreign governments could be trying to gather intelligence by targeting experts with access to secret programs. Others feared something more disturbing, that hidden interests from within powerful institutions might want certain discoveries buried. Political voices also began expressing concern. Questions were raised about whether federal agencies should investigate possible links between these cases. If multiple individuals connected to critical scientific or defense work were disappearing or dying, some argued this should be treated as a national security matter. This was especially true in a world where nations compete constantly for military advantage, technological superiority, and intelligence dominance. The possibility that even one scientist with access to advanced defense knowledge could be compromised was enough to alarm many observers. Among the names that drew major attention was Amy Eskridge. Her case became especially controversial because she was associated with bold scientific ideas involving anti-gravity research. Anti-gravity is often treated as science fiction by the public, but some believe advanced concepts in propulsion or gravitational studies may exist beyond what is commonly known. Amy reportedly spoke openly about feeling pressure from different sides. According to widely discussed accounts, she described hearing both encouragement to continue her work and warnings that pursuing certain discoveries could be dangerous. This is where fear turned into something darker for many observers. When a scientist connected to unusual research speaks publicly about threats, suppression, or fear and later dies, questions naturally grow louder. Official conclusions may say one thing, but public doubt often takes on a life of its own. Some believed her death was tragic but unrelated to her work. Others suspected there may have been forces behind the scenes that did not want certain ideas revealed. Whether these suspicions are justified or not, they became part of a larger narrative that secrecy may surround advanced scientific breakthroughs. Other reported cases involving NASA researchers, defense personnel, or aerospace experts added fuel to public speculation. Missing hikers, unexplained deaths, absent details, or mysterious disappearances all became pieces of a puzzle many people tried to solve. Some connected these events to secret programs, unidentified aerial phenomena, or hidden military technologies. Others warned that drawing conclusions without evidence could be dangerous. Still, once fear enters the public mind, unanswered questions often become powerful enough to shape their own story. As more discussions emerged, theories expanded. Some pointed fingers at rival nations. Some blamed intelligence agencies. Some suggested secretive branches of military research were protecting technologies the public was not ready to understand. Advanced propulsion, hidden aerospace systems, and secret space programs became part of the conversation. To many, this was no longer simply about missing people. It became a story about knowledge, power, and control. At the center of all this was one powerful belief that information itself can be dangerous. In a world where technology can determine military supremacy, energy control, and political power, groundbreaking discoveries may carry enormous risks. If a scientist were truly close to revolutionary technology, some fear that discovery could make them valuable or vulnerable. Whether these fears are exaggerated, misunderstood, or rooted in real danger remains uncertain. But the larger truth is clear. When brilliant minds connected to sensitive fields disappear or die under unusual circumstances, people will ask questions. And when those questions are not fully answered, suspicion often grows faster than facts. That is why this issue continues to grip public attention. It touches on science, secrecy, national defense, and one of humanity's oldest fears, the fear that powerful truths may be hidden from ordinary people. What if the real danger is not hidden in secret labs, but already inside our air, water, and food? Let's delve deeper. Microplastics, pollution, corporate power, and fear of a health crisis. While fears about hidden science and mysterious deaths stirred national security concerns, another crisis was growing quietly in the background, one that may affect nearly every human being alive. This crisis was not about disappearing scientists or classified programs. It was about pollution, plastic, and the invisible particles entering human bodies every single day. Over time, growing numbers of health experts, environmental researchers, and public commentators have warned that microplastics may represent one of the most serious long-term threats to human health. Plastic was once celebrated as a miracle material. It was cheap, flexible, useful, and could be used in countless industries, from food packaging to medical devices, electronics to transportation. Plastic transformed modern life. But what once seemed convenient has slowly become something far more troubling. Plastic does not truly disappear. Instead, it breaks down into smaller and smaller fragments. These tiny particles, called microplastics, can become so small that they enter water, food, air, and eventually the human body. This reality has created growing fear because microplastics are now believed to be almost everywhere. They have reportedly been found in oceans, rivers, soil, seafood, bottled water, rain, household dust, and even the air people breathe indoors. As plastic waste increases globally, so does concern that these particles are entering the bloodstream, lungs, organs, and brain tissue of millions of people. What makes this especially alarming is that many people may be exposed daily without even realizing it. The concern becomes even more serious when linked to health effects. Some researchers and public figures warn that microplastics may contribute to inflammation, hormone disruption, cardiovascular problems, and certain cancers. There are growing fears that these particles may also affect fertility, metabolism, neurological health, and DNA itself. Because plastics often contain chemical additives, some believe their long-term biological effects could be even more dangerous than the particles alone. Modern industrial society may also be worsening the problem. Rocket launches, military explosions, industrial pollution, synthetic clothing fibers, tire wear, and packaging waste all contribute to environmental contamination. Every missile strike, every industrial fire, every discarded plastic bottle may play some role in increasing microscopic pollution. This means pollution is no longer just visible trash. It may now exist in forms too small to see, but still large enough to harm. Corporate responsibility has become a major part of this discussion. Oil and chemical companies remain deeply invested in plastic production because plastics are profitable. As traditional fuel markets change, many critics argue that plastics represent a powerful financial backup plan for major corporations. This creates fear that profit motives may slow serious reform, even while public health concerns grow louder. Simply put, if plastic remains highly profitable, some worry production will continue, regardless of long-term consequences. Governments have started acknowledging contamination concerns more openly, but critics argue progress remains slow. Regulations often struggle to keep up with industrial growth. Public awareness is rising, but so is plastic production. This creates a dangerous imbalance where knowledge about harm increases, while exposure may also continue increasing. At its core, the microplastic crisis represents a frightening modern possibility that humanity may be poisoning itself gradually through convenience, profit, and overproduction. Unlike dramatic disasters, this threat may unfold quietly over decades. Tiny particles, invisible to most people, may slowly shape public health outcomes on a global scale. For many observers, this issue reflects a deeper pattern seen throughout history. Economic gain often moves faster than public protection. Industries expand first, profits rise, and only later do societies fully examine the cost. In this case, the cost may not simply be environmental damage, it may be human health itself. That is why fears surrounding microplastics continue growing. This is not just about waste. It is about what happens when the modern world creates materials faster than it can control their consequences. And for many, the scariest part is that this crisis may already be inside us. If powerful secrets and sensitive research can put people in danger, what happens when scientists start disappearing one after another under strange and unexplained circumstances? Let's find out. Growing fear over strange deaths and missing experts. Recent reports have made many people worried about the strange deaths and disappearances of at least 11 American scientists, military workers, and defense experts. Reports said the White House and the FBI were looking into these cases to find out if they were just sad accidents or if something bigger was going on. People became even more worried because many of these men and women worked on secret or highly important government projects. Some worked on space travel, nuclear power, military aircraft, or advanced weapons. Because of this, many people started asking questions. They wondered if these scientists knew something important. They also wondered if their jobs may have put them in danger. When several smart people working on secret projects disappear or die in strange ways, people naturally begin to fear that something is wrong. One case that got attention was Matthew Sullivan. He was said to be a former Air Force intelligence officer. Reports claimed he was supposed to speak at an important hearing about military secrets and UFO-related information. But before he could do that, he was reported dead. This made many people suspicious. Some believed it could just be a coincidence, but others felt the timing seemed too strange. Since he was supposed to speak publicly before his death, people began asking more questions. Another case involved Joshua LeBlanc, a 29-year-old NASA nuclear scientist. Reports said he disappeared after leaving his home without his phone, wallet, or keys. His family became worried when he did not go to work. Later that same day, there was a terrible Tesla crash connected to him. Reports also said his car had been parked at the airport for hours before the crash. This made many people feel confused because the story seemed unusual. His death raised more fear because people wanted to know what really happened. These were not the only cases. More names were added to the growing list. People noticed something strange in many of these stories. Several of the missing scientists reportedly left behind important things like phones, wallets, watches, keys, or ID cards. This seemed odd because most people do not leave home without these things, especially educated people with serious jobs. Because this happened again and again, many people began to believe there could be a pattern. Melissa Casillas was another name people talked about. She reportedly worked with important labs connected to nuclear and Air Force research. Reports said she left home one day and disappeared without important personal items. Monica Reza was also discussed. She reportedly vanished while hiking, even though she had just been seen moments before. These stories sounded different, but many people noticed the same strange details. General Neil McCausland became one of the biggest names in these reports. He was described as a powerful Air Force leader connected to important military research. Reports said he helped manage or fund projects linked to some of the missing people. Because of this, his own disappearance made people even more worried. Many believed that if someone so important could vanish, then this was not a simple matter. The places connected to these people also made the story feel serious. Labs like Los Alamos and the Air Force Research Laboratory are known for military, nuclear, and space work. These are not ordinary workplaces. They deal with important science and national defense. So when several people tied to these places reportedly died or disappeared, it made people think there could be something bigger happening. Some former law officers reportedly said these cases should be taken seriously. They believe the FBI should look deeply into whether these disappearances could involve spies, foreign enemies, or threats connected to secret government work. Even if there was no clear proof yet, many felt the number of strange cases was too serious to ignore. The big question remains simple. Are these just random deaths and disappearances, or is there something more behind them? Right now, many people do not know the answer. But because so many smart people tied to secret science and defense work have reportedly vanished or died in strange ways, fear continues to grow. For many, it feels like there may be more to these stories than the public fully understands. After looking at the earlier reports of scientists and workers disappearing under unclear conditions, what deeper connections and patterns begin to appear when we focus on specific cases? Stay tuned for more. Strange missing scientist linked to secret jobs. Reports say Stephen Garcia is one of several people being looked into because of strange missing cases. He worked as a contractor at a very important military base in New Mexico called Kirtland Air Force Base. This place is very secure and is used for serious military work in the United States. Not just anyone can enter or work there. People say Stephen Garcia had special permission called security clearance. This means the government trusted him enough to give him access to secret information. His work was connected to making parts used in nuclear weapons systems. Even though he may not have worked directly with nuclear materials, he still worked around very sensitive and powerful military equipment. Jobs like this are not common, and they are closely watched by the government. It is also reported that Stephen Garcia later went missing in a way that is not fully clear. Some reports suggest that officials thought he may have been at risk or could have harmed himself. However, there has been no clear public explanation that fully explains what happened to him. Because of this, many questions are still left unanswered, and people continue to ask for more information about his case. Many people are now trying to understand if there is any link between different missing cases. One of the main reasons for this is that many of the people involved worked in similar areas. They were connected to government work, military programs, space research, or nuclear science. These jobs deal with very secret and important information that is protected by strict rules. Another reason people are concerned is the way some of these individuals disappeared. In several cases, people are said to have left their homes or workplaces suddenly without warning. Some of them reportedly left without taking basic items like their phones, wallets, keys, or identification cards. In other cases, people were last seen doing normal things like walking or hiking, and then they disappeared without a clear reason. Because this kind of pattern appears more than once, some people believe there may be a connection. Still, there is no official proof that all these cases are linked, and investigations are still going on. A large part of the attention is also focused on the places where many of these individuals worked. Two of the most important locations mentioned are Kirtland Air Force Base and Los Alamos National Laboratory, both located in New Mexico. These are highly secure government sites. They are known for work in nuclear research, military defense systems, space technology, and other advanced science projects. Only people with strong security clearance are allowed to work in these places. This means workers are carefully checked before they are allowed to see secret information or enter certain areas. Reports say that more than one person involved in these missing or death cases had links to these facilities. Some worked directly there, while others worked on related projects or supported the work in some way. This has made the situation more serious in the eyes of investigators and the public. Because of the sensitive nature of the work done at these locations, people are worried about whether there could be a shared reason behind the disappearances. When people connected to highly secret government programs go missing or are found dead in unclear ways, it naturally raises concern. It also leads to questions about safety, security, and whether something bigger might be happening. Different ideas have been suggested to explain these events. One idea is that foreign countries might be involved. Some believe other nations could try to target people who know important government secrets. Another idea is that the risk may come from inside the system itself, meaning people working in these jobs could face danger because of what they know or are involved in. At the same time, some people think the cases could be due to accidents, personal problems, or even self-inflicted death. However, these simple explanations do not fully explain all the strange similarities seen across the different cases. What do you think about the strange disappearance of scientists? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. Thank you for staying with us as we looked into these strange cases involving missing scientists. If this deep dive into these unusual disappearances keeps you engaged, don't forget to like and subscribe. Click the next video on your screen to watch more stories. See you there.